for thine is the power. The Via Dolorosa was not at all like I had imagined. I'd been told that its path wove through the bustling Jerusalem Cardo. I had been told the path was hard to follow and easy to lose. I had been told it would be disorienting. And still, I was not prepared. I think this is how the disciples must have felt. All of those times Jesus told them, tried to warn them, tried to give them an idea of what was to come. His words may as well have fallen on deaf ears. No matter what the disciples had possibly anticipated, in every case imaginable, they would have been wrong. They would not have been ready for this, would not have seen it coming. Nobody was prepared. Nobody is prepared still, and we've been pondering it for 2,000 years. Nobody expects God to die. Even now, when you try to speak the truth of that day out loud, people are eager to hush you, to rush you straight toward Easter as if all the other things never happened, as if they were all a dream, a nightmare not to be spoken. Jesus died, and nobody was expecting that. Who could have imagined a crown of thorns for the King of Kings? Who could have envisioned a purple robe made for mocking? Who would have conceived of a cross so heavy to bear that the Son of God would need help carrying it up a hill toward his own death? Who would have thought that all the disciples would scatter? The Via Dolorosa begins at a relatively quiet section near the Lion's Gate. We walk on, pausing inside a chapel that remembers Jesus being beaten and scorned. I try to pray the Lord's Prayer. I hardly finish. We move out into the street again with this word, power, stuck in my throat like a burgeoning cry. For thine is the power. How can that be? How is that true here? I see no power, no glory, and no forever. Only mockery and condemnation, and forever's opposite, death. We continue on. Our guide, Nabil, maneuvers us through the street, to the left, around the corner. He's pointing out plaques and church facades. We're crowded and shoved by passers-by on their rush to whatever is next. We're surrounded by pastry booths and fake pashmina scarves and knockoff handbags and dozens of tchotchkes made in China and wooden incense burners and roasting peanuts and NBA sports hats and glittering bracelets and plastic sandals and cheap t-shirts displaying flags and curse words and SpongeBob SquarePants. I am trying to keep my focus, to hold on to some semblance of a center, but I cannot fathom the depths of Christ's pain while standing next to all of this stuff. The whole path feels like a sort of gruesome hide-and-seek game, looking this way and that for pieces of a puzzle nobody wants to see completed. At the 8th station, a Greek monastery features a cross inscribed on the wall. Surrounding it are the Greek letters ICXCNIKA, meaning Jesus Christ is victorious. Each duet of letters resides at one of the cross's intersections, top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Jesus Christ is victorious. What does that mean, here in the middle of the Cardo, when his journey to the cross is not yet finished? What does it mean to be victorious in the midst of all of this chaos, all of this noise? The Via Dolorosa, the Way of Sorrows, is a statement of power. It's a statement of what power does when it's corrupt, evil, broken, angry, afraid. It's a statement of what power can do when it is wielded as a weapon, as a silencing force, as a threat. The stations speak of the power of the Roman Empire. They can condemn Jesus, beat Jesus, direct Jesus, force Jesus. They can push their power onto Jesus until he bleeds, falls down, and collapses under the weight of their might. The cross is a symbol of humiliation. It is a way of lifting up someone in order to make a mockery of them, a spectacle of them. It is a way of enforcing an empire's power over life itself. They've had enough of this instigator Jesus. They've had enough of his healings and teachings and crowds. He will no longer stand defiantly against the political rule of Caesar and the social rule of his empire. They will use all the power at their disposal, and they will silence him. Jesus, the one others claim to be the Son of God, the King of Jews, the Messiah, indeed stands silent before Pilate. He does not raise a defense. He does not protest the verdict of the empire. He does not refuse his cross. But we must not think for 1 second that he does not stand in his power. The cross of Christ is the very power of God, the very glory of the Son of God. Jesus saves us by showing us what the power of God looks like, and it looks like faithfulness, even unto death upon a cross. We'd been told the path was hard to follow and easy to lose. We had been told it would be disorienting, and still, we were not prepared. We could never be prepared, not for this harrowing way of sorrows. We do not have the power to stand firm in the midst of the chaos that is the very death of God. But Jesus does. Jesus did. And because of that power, the story ends not on a hill, but in a garden. At the intersection of power stands the cross. Indeed, the cross stands as the intersection of power, the ultimate collision of mercy and violence. Jesus is resolute, even as he is stretched left and right and up and down. He does not give in. He does not let go, not of his humanity, not of his divinity, not of us. He stands in his power, which is his love poured out for every last one of us. His is the only lasting power there was, is, or ever will be. Nobody expects God to die. But then God went and did the most surprising thing of all. God turned the powers of the world upside down so that even death upon a cross could become eternal life.